This week on G&T Sips and Giggles, One for the Road, Glenn and Tina are back from their 2-week holiday break and are ready to catch up. Join them as they share details of their adventures from unexpected emergencies on flights to lost luggage. Ugh. With their usual banter and charm, Glenn and Tina bring you along for the ride, hoping to make you feel like part of the fun. So, grab your favourite beverage and tune in for a quick and delightful episode filled with holiday tales, a wee bit of fun, laughter, and the joy of reconnecting on G&T Sips and Giggles.
Hiya, honey.
Hello. Well, I have not seen you in what feels like forever.
Well, aren't you lucky?
My eyes.
I'm melting.
How have you been?
Absolutely fantastic now that I have a little glint in my eye and I feel gorgeous because I'm completely sun-kissed from top to toe.
Well, the only white bit that I have is the little bit behind my watch because I was factor 50 the entire time that I was away. Of course, we should also point out at this point that we're only back from our holidays.
Yes, where were you?
I was away on my usual. I was away on a cruise around the Mediterranean with my husband and my friends, my sister, her husband, my nieces, and then my friend and her son as well. So there's a crowd of us went.
Big housing estate.
Aye. Cruising around the housing estate.
You don't come from a housing estate, love, that
No,
much I do.
well, I
Not
mean,
that there's anything wrong with living in an estate.
I lived on an estate.
Born reared.
Now, do you remember that gig that we done in Carrickfergus where I disclosed that I was from Carrickfergus?
You did.
And I mentioned the estate that I was from.
You
and
did.
There was a sharp intake of breath when I mentioned that I was actually from that estate.
Yeah. People were like, oh my God, no, I never would.
Here, but listen,
Wow.
Where did you go?
Well, where do I ever? Where do you think I went?
You went to the one and only, a Gran Canaria.
Yes, my second home, Playa del Ingles. So I did, and I messed up my bookings, and I ended up, instead of 1 week's holiday, I got 2.
Now wait, did you have to pay for both?
Well, you say yes, I did, but my intention was I booked the 21st to the 28th of July. Then I soon discovered, this is back in January, by the way, of 2024, and then I found out about 2 weeks later when Belfast Pride was. So I went in and I rebooked the 28th to the 4th of August with all the intentions, took all the bookings for work, took everything, and thought, great. So 3 weeks before the holiday, I was, I'm going on the 28th, that's the day after the parade, blah blah blah. And then Jet2 sent me a text to say, we have cleared the rest of your deposit, look forward to seeing you on the 21st of July. And I thought, oh my God. So I rang them up and they were lovely with me and they said, look, we're really sorry, Tina, there's nothing we can do, love, because you've left it too late. I forgot to cancel the first week, basically.
Elderly brain.
Absolutely. This is it. You go ahead and pick on me because I'm old and beautiful. You go right ahead, son.
I'll never win this argument. I'll never win, so I'm not even gonna. Anyway,
anyhow, Jet2 were lovely because I had requested something that had never been happened before. So I said, what are my options? If you cancel, you lose £1,000.
Jeez.
I asked for vouchers. No. I asked, can I move it? They can only move it closer. And I thought, no. And I said, you know what? Can I have a 2-week holiday instead of 1? And they went, leave it with us. Stay on the lane. So stayed on the lane. And they came back and said, yeah, you can. Because everything else was the same. The coach transfers, the hotel. It wasn't like I was going to 2 different places, you know. So I took the fortnight.
Wow. I can't believe that you did that, to be fair.
I know, near
You forget that you book a week's holiday. I'm living for it. I'd literally have a countdown in my phone saying 319 days until we go away.
Ask me when I'm going away again.
When are you going away
4
again?
weeks.
You are not. For the love of
Ask
goodness.
me where am I going.
Where are you going?
Ask me going. Gran Canaria.
You are not.
I am.
You have the life of Riley, you do.
Listen, I tell you something, love. with one wee goddamn cotton picking man. I have worked my fingers to the bone.
Did you have?
And I'm just, this is, you know that old saying, work hard, play harder?
100%, yeah.
Honey, I'm winning the game.
Well, you're just right. You're just right. You put the work in, so
absolutely.
you're not.
That's why I'm single. That's why I have no children. That's why I've got very little responsibilities, except for my mummy, of course.
Of course.
And we thumper.
Let's not
And
forget
I make
Mummy
sure
Lives
that
Tantrum.
I have all my ducks in a row. This one's for pure bent and Azura Pentacast, the crossing the T's and the dot my I's before I go anywhere. And I ensure that everything in that capacity is all sorted out. Appointments and care and everything else, you know. So, but we have wonderful things like FaceTime these days, and communication is so much quicker, easier, softer, and usable, especially for a lady in her 80s. So yeah, I make sure that's all done. But yeah, 4 weeks time, hola, and here they'll be. In the name of God, Tini, you never even let the door close.
Now, can I just check? Have you checked to make sure that we don't have any gigs lined up?
Yes, I have. I've triple, double, quadruple checked. Because that's one thing we always do in our schedules, you and I, when we meet and we go, right, okay. When you go, and then I come back again in November, and then I come back again on the 29th of December. Start as you mean to go on.
Absolutely. It's becoming a second home for you.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I'll take it.
Absolutely.
I'll take it. Belfast will always be my first home. But I think when you have somewhere, when you've worked hard, played hard, and if you're happy enough with where you are, that's your roots, that's where you've planted your tree, and your tree's growing beautifully, by all means. However, if you want to branch out a wee bit and have something that's yours that you can go to when you want, that's my dream. I definitely want to get a place of my own out there, instead of paying for accommodation all the time.
No, 100%. I mean,
so if anybody out there with $250,000 can help me out,
can we start a GoFundMe for Miss Tina Legs?
I know they're not saying GoFundMe. I know what they're saying. They're saying something else, love.
Oh dear,
it's not fund.
Well, I think whenever I get to the point where I'm out of work and my dream is to just travel the world. I want to sail the world. I want to go on all the itineraries that I've not been able to go on. Because, as you know, my husband is a primary school teacher.
He is.
And
Gladys.
The holidays are great, but they're the most expensive time to travel. We're always limited to, like a week in February, 2 weeks in April, 6 weeks in the summer, a week at the end of October, and then winter. So always the most expensive time to travel. So we're always limited. So I cannot wait until the day that we can hang our heels up. I say heels, but you know what I mean. Hang our shoes up and hit the high seas.
Well, you know what? When you get to that point in your life like I did, I'll never forget the night of my 50th birthday, the surprise birthday party. And I just felt it all change that night. I could feel that switch. And it actually felt like a breath of fresh air. I don't know what it was. I'll never forget, God rest her, Princess Diana. The moment she confronted Camilla. And she had that big confrontation. And she said to Camilla, what is it that you want from me? Why are you doing this to me? And Camilla just screamed in her face, you have everything.
Yeah.
And she turned and she walked away and she felt, do you know what? You're right. But at that time, Princess Diana knew that it was done. And she said that night in the car on the way home, King Charles was all over her and he was trying to touch her and she just felt sickened. And that was the first she ever felt that. She got out of the car. She went to...
She got the ick.
She got the ick. That's
it. She got the ick.
She got the ick, and fair play to her. And she went to a different room and she said that was the first night in many, many years she fell into a deep sleep because when she woke up the next morning, it had all switched.
She wasn't in Kansas anymore?
No. Dorothy clicked her heels 3 times and she landed home. That's the way I felt the night of my 50th birthday. And for the next 2 or 3 days, I don't know what it was, but I had embraced me moving into my senior life. Mm-hmm. Because that's what you become.
Absolutely.
You become a senior. And I thought, I was so glad because of my mindset. It's still the same. It's never going to change.
Yeah.
And there will be health problems, but please God, I'll be able to tackle them as they come and deal with them and just carry on regardless.
Yeah.
But
here, I want to know about your holiday.
You go first.
So we left Belfast on the Sunday morning after our gig.
What time?
Oh gosh, we were up.
You were early
I
birds?
literally we got home. We got back to my house. I think it was about 12:30.
Yeah.
And I was awake at 4 to be at Belfast City Airport for a flight at 7. And it was awful. And that was one of the longest days. So anyway, we travelled from Belfast to London, London to Rome. And then we travelled from Rome airport to a port town called Civitavecchia. And that's where most of the cruise lines start. So we actually arrived a couple of days early, which was great because we were able to sort of go and explore Rome. However, BA left our cases in Terminal 5, and of course our cases didn't make it on the plane to Rome. So this was a whole drama because we were obviously going on a cruise, and it's not like we're staying in the same location every day. We're somewhere different.
Somewhere different.
So it just added a whole drama to the holiday straight off the bat.
What happened?
Well,
did you get them?
they emailed us before we'd even landed in Rome to say, whoops, we forgot to load your cases onto the plane. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but they might as well have said that. So I have an AirTag. These are the best inventions, by the way. Apple AirTags. They're the size of a 50p piece. They have a battery in them. They have this technology where if anybody with an iPhone comes into the proximity of the AirTag, it pings the Apple network, which means you can basically look it up on your phone and see where it is.
Oh.
So it uses GPS as well. So anyway, like a long story short, we knew that the bags were in Rome Airport. BA finally sent them across that night on the Sunday night, but Rome Airport couldn't find them. But I could see on my phone that they were in Rome Airport. So on the next day, we were straight on the train back up to the airport. Long story short, guy had me in a lot of rooms looking for cases. We finally got them and all was right in the world again.
Right.
So anyway, we got on our cruise and we had the best time.
Lovely.
The absolute best time. I mean, we didn't really get off the ship. We've done a number of stops within this particular itinerary a number of times. So there were people that we were traveling with, as I mentioned, my sister and her friends and so on. They sort of got off and done their own thing, whereas we sort of just lounged about. It wasn't really until we hit Ibiza, which is about day 6 or day 7, that we started to get off. But as you can imagine, for the first 7 days of our holiday, it was pretty much eating all around us, and we were beating the banker. We had an unlimited beverage package, so all of our drinks were included. So yeah, we were, carrying on stinking, forgetting me age, forgetting that I'm a 39-year-old man and not a 21-year-old, staying out to all hours in the morning, and then rolling out of bed at like 2 in the afternoon because we didn't have anything to do, that way. But listen, speaking of cruising, tell me about your holiday.
Oh, it just rolls off the tongue with you, Glenn Marshall Adams, doesn't it? What a blend. What a crossover.
So, did you meet anybody when you were out there? Did you have any fun?
I did.
Did you do a turn?
I done a few wee turns, and do you know what I done? I stayed sober.
You did not?
I did.
And you had fun?
I did.
Wow.
Because it was 2 weeks, and I normally only go for a week due to personal circumstances, having to get home to look after mummy and stuff, then when I knew that I could get a 2-week holiday, obviously I put care package in place and everything was fine, right? So when I got there, I went out on the Sunday night like I always do and had a few drinks and got a few wee snogs and what have you, and then the Monday night was the same. However, I can't even say what happened that night, but I woke up on the Tuesday morning and I thought to myself, if I continue to do this, I'm going to go home at the weekend. I have to stop. So I stopped drinking on the Tuesday and that was it. And what I actually did was I thought, you know what? This is actually quite nice. And it was like being at home. Only it was 38, 39 degrees. They put me on the 3rd floor, by the way, when I checked in. I was fuming.
Because you're normally like 5th.
I like 4th or 5th.
Yeah, you like the highest. Floor. Yeah.
And
remember you saying before.
Now they were very apologetic in Buenos Aires airport, Buenos Aires apartments. Pedro, my new best friend, and he's lovely. He's like the senior head receptionist. He apologised. He said, we try very hard, but there's just no rooms available. Can you wait till Tuesday? And I said, Pedro, see, come Tuesday morning, son. See if I'm down here with 2 flip-flops in my hands, I clot the ears of you. So, fair play, 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, they give me a ring. I was up.
Oh, that's good.
And I had all my stuff. What did I do? He asked me which apartment I wanted my old apartment, 423, and he gave me it. I busted my suitcase.
Oh, you did not?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I was so excited. I pushed it all down. I pulled the zip down, and I don't know why I pushed it again, and then it went. Pow! So anyway, I went up and I moved into my new room and I loved it. And I stayed sober the entire holiday because in my mind I thought I want to see what
Do you
this
think
is
as well
like.
part of this was because you were traveling on your own and,
Yeah, I always travel on my own mainly because I love my own company.
but I mean, if you're going out there, because you normally would go away sometimes with the likes of Kathy and Jake and your group
Jake
of friends,
and
where
Sammy.
if you were going to go out, you can all let your hair down. There's no man left behind sort of mentality. Everybody gets home or no one gets home. Do you know
Yeah.
that way? Do you think that part of that is that when you're out there on your own, you sort of do need to maybe take a bit more care of what you're drinking?
No, not necessarily, because in the Jumbo Centre, oh my God, it's the reason I call it my second home is because I know so many people now.
Well, that's good.
A bar
That's good.
staff, table service, they'll be like, hiya, Tina. Even when I'm not dressed, it's always Tina. And there's quite a few people there from here in Northern Ireland who are now living and working over
Right,
there.
okay.
And
So you've got plenty of local faces or
absolutely,
friendly faces anyway.
And
to
even
sorta-
some of the nights, I thought to myself, do you know what? I'll put something nice on me. I'll have a nice wee shower. I'll put something nice on me, and I'll go for a walk round. And I'll go round to 2 or 3 different wee bars, have chats, and have a JC. Well, where do you hear this? Nobody in their lives over in the Jumbo Centre in Gran Canaria had ever heard of a JC. They all thought it was Jack Daniels and Coke. And I had to say, can I have a JC, please? No, it's not Jack Daniels and Coke. And they were like, well, what?
Not asking for Jesus Christ.
And I said, it's JC. And they were, well, what's in it? Pure and Jamaican lemonade. And they were like, well, why do you call it a JC? And I was all, it's a Jesus Christ. It's like, there's no alcohol. Jesus Christ, there's no alcohol in that. And do you know something? There's about 5 or 6 people drinking it now. Miss Ash, older drag queen, and her husband, Tony, they're both Brummies from Birmingham. They were having their Sunday lunch the other week, and I called round for a wee dander, and they were sitting having a big Sunday roast. And Oisin came out from behind the bar and he says, well, Tina, what are you having? A wee JC? And I was like, yeah. They thought I was having a Jack Daniels and Coke until he sat it down. So I said to Miss Ash, try that and see if you like it. Oh, she loved it. And then I said to Tony, and then both ordered one, and they kept going, hey, Babs, that's lovely, Babs. So then when I went up to Sparkles, a couple of them were like, Tina, what's that you're drinking? So they let them taste it. And it's just a nice wee soft, refreshing drink. So, but the weather. Wow. 38, 39, 40, 41 degrees. Roasting. I loved it.
Tell me about it.
I know.
Mediterranean, it was not much different. We got off on a number of stops. When we got to the Seville, thank goodness for the super narrow streets in Seville where they were naturally casting a shadow. Do you know that way? It was really, really warm.
Very intense heat.
I mean, I was, as I mentioned already, I was factor 50 the entire time. Still pasty white.
30. 30 all over and a good squirt. Now, do you know I always get on with the maids? You know the maids when they come around and they go, doot, 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 housekeeping. And and do you know oh God, love her name was Petra. Petra. And me and her were going on so well. Now, I'm not being funny when I say this, but it was funny. So when I was in the 3rd floor, the maid who was on the 3rd floor was called Momo.
Right.
And first morning she came in, of course I landed on the Sunday night and I looked like the devil. On Monday morning, she put her head in and she was like, me clean room. And I was like, morning. She go, no, me Momo. And I was like, no, morning. And she go, no, me Momo. And I was right, okay. So I jumped in the shower while she was cleaning and stuff and came out. And I had my towel and all around me and I was getting ready. And I said, your name is? And she go, me Momo. And I was, me Tina. And then her and I had a bit of a few laughs, but I had to leave her and go up to the 4th floor and let Petra.
Into the penthouse.
Into the penthouse.
Pedro sorted out for you.
I'm scared of heights, but why do you go to the top? Because it's the best.
We're going to be right back after this extremely short break.
See you soon. We're back.
Welcome back. You're listening with me, Glenn.
And me, Mademoiselle Tina Legs Tantarum.
She's still in her Spanish era.
I thought that was French.
It is.
You buck agent.
And here's me just back from the south of Spain, the south of France, and Italy. You think I'd know the difference between them?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here, do you know what I was going to say to you? Do you know when you get off the plane when you come back?
It was.
Isn't it gut wrenching?
Well, it was pretty grim. When we landed in Belfast there 3 days ago, on Sunday there, the rain was coming down slanty ways.
Yeah.
There's nothing more depressing. For me, being the pasty white, I do appreciate cool weather, but the rain is it's grim. It's grim.
Well, we had an adventure because, and I have to give it to Jet 2, they were fantastic. So we took off and it was a full flight. And then 20-30 minutes into the flight, I noticed the air hostesses were running up and down the plane. And then a call came out. If there's any nurses or doctors on board, could you please make your way to the back of the plane? So then nobody really knew what was going on. The seatbelt signs came on and they told us all to sit, not to worry. And I thought, oh, here we go. So 20 minutes later, the captain came on and apologised because we would have to land urgently in Portugal.
Oh, goodness.
In Lisbon. And everybody kind of sort of was looking at each other. And so it turns out a lady at the back of the plane, she had breathing difficulties and she was really raspy. It never happened to her before. It just came on her. And so we landed in Portugal and silently I said a wee prayer for her because I thought to myself, you know, whoever it is. And I didn't know she was only 3 seats behind me because I was sitting 29F.
As you always do.
Yes.
As you always do.
And she was just sat there and I don't think she was embarrassed. I think she was just more concerned. And her husband, she wasn't that old either. Like, so anyway, what I found out was when they came on board, Portugal straight in, put the steps up, they ran in, they put the heart monitor on her, but it was up to this. It's not up to the captain who is allowed on the plane. It's up to the air stewardesses.
Okay.
Air hostesses. They have the last call.
Okay.
Do you see when she says you're off this plane? You're off that plane.
Flip, right, okay.
And so as they took the lady off the plane and everybody was like, hope she was okay. And I don't know who she is and I really do hope she is okay. Then that took about 40 minutes. And then what did they forget? Her suitcases.
Oh, God, no.
So then we had to wait another 40 minutes till they found her suitcases in the bottom of the plane, which they did. They located them and then off they went in the ambulance and then we took off again. So we're about 2.5 hours delayed. But when we were up in the air again and we were coming toward the end of the flight coming into Belfast, I went to the back and I was coming out of the toilet. And the air hostess was looking at me and I said, did you get your photograph taken with me? And she goes to me, where do I know your face from? I was like, here, just look at your legs. I'm like, well, do you know something's funny you should say out, love? So anyway, her and I got chatting and stuff and I told her about Tina.
Were you wearing your hair a different way or something? Are you not,
No,
were you not wearing your wee Primark number?
No, at a balaclava. And so just look at your legs. So we got chatting and stuff and I'd said, is the lady okay? And she said to me, when they put the heart monitor on her, her heart was fine. But she said, I felt awful having to do what I did. She says, but it was my call. But my fear was that if I had took a chance and flew on to Belfast, there was another 2.5 hours to get there. She said, I would never have forgiven myself if something had went drastically wrong. She said, so I just put her down as a flight risk. And I said to her, can you do that? And she said, oh yeah, it's up to me. And I was like, right, okay. So I never knew that, you see.
Yeah, I would be the same. I typically thought that it would have been the captain who had the final say.
No.
Maybe it varies between airlines and, you know.
Well, if you think about it, you know when the air hostess comes out and she's nice, if there's an incident and they try to calm it down, or if someone really needs to be removed from the plane, it's them who get the brunt of it. They're the ones out on the floor, if you know what I like.
Yeah.
The captain doesn't feel any of it. He's responsible for flying, but the other staff are responsible for everybody's health and safety. So if you've got one person, even maybe being too drunk or too silly or too argumentative or demonstrating, you know, that they're becoming a hazard, then if they say, right, land the plane, get them off, that's us, we're done. I'd love to have that authority. Oh, I've been something down that aisle. I'm telling you, I'd be like,
I mean, technically, you could just treat a nightclub like that or a bar like that.
yeah, I would.
You
Out. I'd be like, what are you doing in here? Move. Yeah, definitely. So, you know what? Do you remember we done a podcast not that long ago and we were moaning and yapping about certain things that have happened while we were flying, and you had a problem with your baggage, and why do people... What was that you were talking about?
I was talking
Remind us.
about gate lice and belt lice. These are the people that unnecessarily, like, literally box in either the entrance when you're boarding the plane or they box in the baggage belt. It's like, rather than just take 3 steps back and wait until their bag comes out, they make it increasingly difficult for you to actually get in to lift your bag off.
Yeah.
So you're right, I did have a bit of a moan about that.
Well, what I noticed on the way back was, and I don't ever want... I'm not going to yap and moan about flying anymore, because look what happened to me and look what happened to you. And when I had the incident about the 2 seats...
I think it's karma. Is that what you're saying?
Total karma. But what I noticed was Belfast International Airport, when you're flying back at like 4 o'clock in the morning, one other flight had landed from Dalaman and ours had landed from Las Palmas, Gran Canaria. There are only 2 belts. 2 belts to collect your luggage. 2 belts. And there was a Jet2 rep there. And one sign said Dalaman and the other one said Las Palmas. But nobody knew which was which. So I said to the Jet2 rep, I don't want to have any bad luck for this. I know there's only 2 belts, love, but could you tell me which one is going to be Las Palmas? And she went, well, if it isn't that one, it's that one. And I swear, I'd never raised my hand to a lady, but I was like, do you know what? You deserve that for asking a stupid question. But here's what happened. All the ones from Gran Canaria went to stood at the first one, thinking they were all coming out on that one. So everybody was walking from belt number 1 to belt number 2.
Was there not like a screen up that sort of
there
says?
was, but we didn't know which one was which, because the screen was there and the screen was there. We didn't know if that was
right. What the screen meant for which belt. I see.
Sometimes
what you're
they're numbered as belt 1 and belt 2. Sometimes they're numbered as belt 4 and belt 5. But there's only 2 belts.
Okay.
If somebody could come out and say before they put the bags on, right, who landed from Dalaman? Yeah, that one. Everybody from that Dalaman, stand there. Right, and so the other one's obviously Las Palmas. Everybody stand there. But we got our cases and we got our bags, and just got my wee transfer back over to the car park at like 4:30 in the morning. But you know what? It felt good to feel that wee chill.
It's something about being home.
Yeah.
So I just want to very quickly rewind. Last week we put out an episode called Child of the Troubles.
We did.
And the week before that we put out our Pride special.
We did.
Both very well received. So thank you, listeners, for the people that took the time to get in contact with us to thank us for putting those episodes out.
Thank you.
On the back of that, we've actually set up a Patreon. And this is where you can support both Tina and I, if you wish, or you can just follow us for free. We do have paid membership tiers, and we've called those tiers London Dry Gin, Bombay Sapphire, or Jam Jar. And for a set fee every month, you can buy myself and Tina a drink. And to do that, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/the letter G, the word and, the letter T, and the word pod. So it's G&T pod, patreon.com, G&T pod. And on there, you can sign up. Very, very straightforward. And for your subscription, you'll get things like early access to your episodes. You'll also get community access, so patrons only WhatsApp groups. Shout outs on our podcast for those people who support us. We'll also give you voting power if you want to decide on upcoming episodes. Exclusive digital download content as well, things like stickers, gifts, and more. You'll be able to participate in Q&A sessions that Tina and I will run. We'll also give you exclusive behind-the-scene content. Not only that, you'll be supporting local, so you will be supporting Tina and I as local content creators. And the higher up the tiers you go, the more perks you get. In our Bombay Sapphire, you'll get discounts to Drags to Riches, G&T Karaoke, and Crazy Bingo. Of course, T&Cs apply. And with our highest tier, you get all of the benefits of the previous, including a very special video call from both Tina and I, where we'll invite you on a one-on-one exclusive call where you'll get to ask us a couple of questions, which will be featured on the podcast. So head on over to Patreon. You can sign up for free, or if you want to buy us a drink, why not subscribe?
Spell Patreon, please, Glenn.
It's P for Papa, A for Alpha, T for Tango, R for Romeo, E for Echo, O for Oscar, N for November. Patreon.com/G&T pod. Just Google it. It'll come up. Put in there G&T Sips and Giggles. You'll find us.
Yeah. Baz a wee drink, love.
Or check out our Facebook, because we have been sharing the link to our Patreon in all of our posts. So certainly the last couple of posts that we've put up, you'll find the link on there as well.
Lush.
So that sadly is all we have time for. This was our G&T Sips and Giggles one for the road.
Wee one for the road, honest to mighty God. So when do you go away again?
I'm away in 2 weeks' time.
You've been cheek to talk about me.
Well, I am. I first of all need to tell you, I am going on the most exclusive, the most amazing, earth-shattering cruise.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've hired a boat and we're going up the river Ban.
I thought you were going to say Stranraer.
No, we're not hired. We've hired a riverboat, and there's 6 of us. We're going to take a boat up the Ban. We will talk about it in episodes coming up, because I will want to tell you about some of the ridiculous things that we got up to on that.
Brilliant.
Although other episodes that are coming up that we do want to share with you, we are going to be doing our very special Opportunity Frocks series.
Yes.
So for those people who don't know, maybe you could let people know what Opportunity Frocks is.
Opportunity Frocks was one of the most unique, unbelievable, once a year gay Christmas calendar drag queen spectacular shows that started back in 2008 when I entered the Opportunity Frocks drag queen competition, which was in Glasgow in Scotland, and I came first. Then about 6 months later, Doogie had messaged me and said, Tina, we're not going to run this anymore. Would you like to take it on? And as you well know, Glenn, I came to you and I said, I've been given this wonderful gift. Shall we do something with it? And every November in the Empire Music Hall, around about the first or second Saturday night, we ran the most exquisite, fun-loving, donkey riding, roller coaster, back to front, unique, gorgeous competition we've ever been a part of. It wasn't even, the beauty was, not only were we, it was our baby, it became a monumental figure for our community, and all the money we raised went to the Belfast Pride Committee, and I miss it.
Well, let's not give it all away right now.
No. Dun, dun, dun.
So we will be doing
big gub.
we will be doing a 2-part special, because we do have 10 years worth of Opportunity Frocks to unpack. So as part of this, Tina, I'm going to invite you over to mine. I have all the videos from all of the years. Ooh. We're going to have to sit and watch all 10 years worth of the videos.
I dead on.
We're going to take a look back through some of those videos.
A decade. Wow.
Yeah, decade of that. And we'll put together a 2-hour episode, which we'll split over 2 episodes on the pod. Really dissecting and just talking about what it was like at the time, what your memories were, what my memories were, just to sort of relive that, because I know that people would be interested in knowing.
Do you know what I would love to call that episode? Nah, that's what I call drag.
What the frock?
Yeah. Oh my God, you remember me and everybody saying it? I was even getting into the gym and people were in the showers, having a shower, and I got them to, when I opened the door on them, they just turn around and they were covering their bits saying, what the frock? Oh, it was powerful.
So anyway, that's still to come of the next couple of episodes. So that's next week. So we will be doing Sip and Share and
Iconic Tonic.
So don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us or you have a question, maybe you've got a confession, maybe you just want to know a bit more information about a particular subject that we've been talking about.
Get those saucy questions, and we love it when the followers and the listeners and even the people who listen and tune in for the first time want to know more. And you can contact us on all of the links that are provided through all our social media platforms, and you will find the WhatsApp group there. And just send us even a silly question. If there's everything you ever wanted to know about Glen or I, or drag queens, or our community, or me being a living legend after winning the Lifetime Achievement Award, presented to me by the Belfast Pride Committee.
Shameless plug. Anyway, until next week.
Yes. Chin chin!
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at G&T Pod. Also, thank you to those people that took the time to write in a question. If you would like to write in a question or send us a voice note, you'll find the details in the description of this episode. And of course, if we haven't already asked enough of you, please subscribe and leave a review, but be kind. Much love, G&T.